Thanks for joining me in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the bones of the human body. And while you will not be required to memorize all 200 plus of them, you will be required to memorize and spell correctly the major bones in the body to which we refer to on a regular basis, especially when we're talking about in terms of fitness, right? So we're going to talk about these important bones. So I'll give you the spelling and then show you where it's at on our little buddy, this little skeleton here. Okay, the first ones we're going to talk about, we're going to start down at the feet, and the bones in your feet are called your tarsals and metatarsals. Okay, your tarsals are down here. Okay, tarsals are down here, and then your metatarsals extend from there. I'm going to move through this quickly because I know you're going to just skip half this video anyway and get the good stuff. Your calcaneus, also referred to as your heel, is this bone right here. Okay, your calcaneus, it's a big bone. Okay, people who have broken that bone have said that's a really tough one to recover from. Okay, our next one is our tibia. Okay, the tibia, you have two bones in the lower part of your body, or your lower part of your leg, your shin. Your tibia is that shin bone, that big bone that goes up to your knee, down to your ankle. And also in the lower part of the leg is the fibula. This is the bone that is on the pinky toe side of this lower part of the leg down here. Okay, that outside, that lateral part of your lower leg. Patella. This is also known as your kneecap, which is right here. Your patella. Your femur, the biggest bone in the human body, is the upper part of the leg. Okay, your thigh bone. Okay, we're not going to learn the names of the different parts of your pelvic girdle, but we are going to learn a couple things about your spine. It's so important when you lift, when you exercise, that you take care of your spine. Each of these spine are separated by little patty discs in between them, and taking care of your discs and your vertebrae is very important. All right. So first of all, let's understand what they are. Your vertebrae. Okay. You have three different parts of your vertebrae. You have your cervical, your thoracic, and your lumbar sections of your spine. We'll talk about those. You also have a sacrum and a coccyx. Okay, and even though your favorite movie refers to the coccyx as the coccyx, it is actually pronounced coccyx. Your cervical spine is this area of your neck. Okay, we number these C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. There's 7 of them. As you move into the next segment that are attached to ribs, we call those thoracic vertebrae. Okay, we abbreviate those as T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, all the way down to T12, okay, which is down here. And then the lower part of your back is called your lumbar spine, or your lumbar vertebrae, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. L5 is your lowest lumbar vertebrae. Then down here you have your sacrum, and then down here at the bottom is what we call the coccyx, or the coccyx, or your tailbone. Okay? Let's talk next about some of the bones in the upper body. Move our buddy back around here. The next ones we're going to start with are the bones of our hands. We call those our carpals and metacarpals. Okay? Your carpals are these bones up here, and your metacarpals are the bones that extend down towards your fingertips. Okay? Metacarpals. Your radius. The radius, you have two bones on the distal part of your arm or your forearm. The radius is this big bone here on the thumb side. So the one that's on the side of the thumb is your radius, and then the other bone in that same area is called your ulna. Okay, the ulna is right here. It goes from your elbow, the tip of your elbow, all the way down to your wrist as well. This one's on the pinky side. Okay. This bone of your upper arm is called the humerus. The humerus is this bone right here. Okay, when we talk about your ribs, you have kind of two types of ribs. You have what are called fixed ribs and floating ribs. Your fixed ribs are the ribs that attach into your sternum and all the way around back into your spine back here. And then you have a few floating ribs at the bottom that are just coming around the back. They don't actually connect into your sternum. So floating ribs and fixed ribs. Now as we move up to the shoulder area, your clavicle, also known as your collarbone, is this bone right here, or this bone right here. Okay, we have them on both sides. That's your clavicle. Then on the back side, you have what is called your scapula. Okay, your scapula is also referred to as your shoulder blade. Okay, so a little bit better view of this. This is your shoulder blade. Then of course your cranium, that's this part up here. Okay, so it's important to know all the bones in your, certainly these bones in your body, because we do refer to these quite a bit in this class as well as in other classes that you might have throughout your high school experience. So make sure you memorize these and be ready for future quizzes and be able to spell those correctly. And thanks for joining me.